Suddenly, with Truex going away, you're going to be the oldest driver in the series next year. How's that?
Yeah.
With you?
I mean, it's interesting. It's just there was such a big rookie class back in 2006 when we had Martin and Reed Sorensen, J.J. Yaley, David Stremme. Just, everyone's gone. Everyone's gone. And, I just, Martin was just a barometer for success and speed when we were coming into the Cup Series. And so, man, it certainly it doesn't feel like I'm the oldest, but I guess, when you kind of put it all in perspective and, seeing, these guys peel off, I certainly feel it, but I don't, my mind doesn't make me believe that I'm the oldest.
Did you come here to watch his press conference just to make sure he actually was retired?
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. Maybe he was hoping that he would Mark Martin this thing, and maybe he still has a chance to do it, to, bluff everyone. But, I think he's in a good place right now, and certainly I think he covered, his reasons why, which is, which I thought was well stated, that, he wants to make his own schedule for once, and he hasn't been able to do it for 20 years. So certainly I think he's at peace with it.
What's it like for an athlete who at some point, sooner than later, will have to go through something like that to see contemporaries start to kind of move away?
I mean, I've always you've heard guys that have retired say that they just knew when that moment was, right? And I think that Martin, that he had that light bulb go off where he was going to be fine with stepping away. And so, I don't know what that feels like exactly yet, but certainly it's different for everyone. And so I think it's awesome that, the guy's going to step away from the sport and do what I said I hoped I could do, and that is win my final race, right? He's still good enough to be one of the greats in our sport here at whatever age he is, and he's got just a great shot to going out as champion as anyone does. Like, it's hard to believe I've been teammates with Martin as long as I have, and I've never had a what the fuck, Martin moment. Like, never. I just never had. I'm sure that he's said that to me, about me, in his head because of things that I've done as a teammate, but I've never had that moment. I don't think that anyone has as a teammate to him or anything. So he's just, I don't know how you can say he's just not the best teammate that you could possibly have. He's so respectful. He reminds me of Jimmy Johnson. Like, I think he's so underrated as far as the natural ability to drive a car fast. I have to work tremendously hard week in, week out to run the speed that Martin Truex runs week in, week out. Like, I have to work really hard to keep up with him. And so I just think he's one of the most naturally gifted drivers that our series has seen in quite some time. But, he's just not flashy about it. That's the only difference in him and others that have been great in the Cup Series in the past. So I just, when I think about Martin, I try to think of, have I ever had a moment where I've said, man, I can't believe he did that, and the answer is no. He's always just done the right thing 100% of the time, and that's just, something that's hard to do.
Not even Richmond this year? Would he be on the list that 2311 needed a substitute driver at some point next year?
I told him that I will have his Daytona 500 car ready immediately. Just tell me the word.
You'll add a car to your
100%. I would 100% do that.
Is that just because you want to get him that win, or because he's a good drafting partner?
I just explained that he's a great driver, right? So why wouldn't I? But yes, we certainly would. Anytime that Martin gets bored and wants to run Cup, we would have a seat for him for sure.
Overall, what has been his biggest or greatest contribution to JGR?
I would say for the longest time, you always heard about Martin Truex not winning on short tracks, but he challenged me on short tracks for a greater part of a decade. Like, he didn't get the wins like we saw when he lost his shit at Richmond, because he had 5 races at Richmond that go that exact same way. But he made me better on short tracks. And so that was his greatest contribution to me as a driver. And again, he was the barrier of speed. You know, when I had Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Matt Kenseth, those guys were all so fast, so good. They all made me better in different ways.
So would you rather have another driver come in that makes you better, or are you content to have a younger driver that you have to mentor, kind of like what you're doing at 2311?
You know, I always am in favor of having a challenger, someone that challenges you to be better. You know, Kyle Busch really made me better on the bigger tracks. Martin made me better on the shorter tracks. And so, you know, we've got others, Reddick and Ty Gibbs, that are actually what I look at as barometers on the road courses, right? So I always would vote for someone that's going to challenge to outrun me every week.
What did you think? Obviously, Martin made his decision today. You gave him a hug afterward. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's his decision, you know, and I'm happy for what he has to do. He's been a really good friend of mine and somebody I looked up to, you know, I think my whole racing career, and thankful to have the opportunity to be teaming with him, and so I'm happy for him and wish him the best. I'll probably hopefully go down and visit him and see what's going on with his retirement life, but good for him.
What's the biggest thing you learned from Martin Truex over his career, just his time with the team?
I feel like there's so many different things I feel like I've learned, and you know, most of them are, you know, at the track and all that. But I think, you know, what I've kind of learned from him is enjoying the time of racing, and what we get to do for a living is amazing. And you know, we get to do what we love to do for a living and in our whole life. So I think that's something I've been thinking about and been thankful for sure. And just, you know, taking it easy and having a good time and chilling out and looking at the big picture.
Coach mentioned about having two of the best 40-year-old guys in the sport on the team. What will it be to lose someone like that?
I mean, it's definitely it's just part of it. It's business, and it's you know, it's part of it. But he's been helped us out so much, and we're thankful for what he's had to do for my family's race team and you know, as a teammate as well. So you know, it's just part of it, and we'll go on and keep trying to fight for wins.
I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. I guess ego would be the right word. He's got no ego. He's got no I'm better than you attitude. You know, he's just a very normal person who, you know, he does himself, and I respect the hell out of him because he is a superstar in the Cup Series, but he just does himself. He's not flashy. He doesn't care about what anyone else thinks. He is Martin Truex Jr., and frankly, that's who I want to be. Christopher Bell, but the same style.
Trenton Worsham with Frontstretch.com. Come back for more great racing videos. And if you like us, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.